Scroll number 2. Everything I need is already within me. I have been looking in the wrong direction. For years I have looked outward, toward the approval that might arrive, the success that might confirm me, the circumstances that might finally align and give me permission to feel settled. I have studied the movements of fortune like a man studying weather, hoping to catch the favorable winds. I have asked the wrong questions. Not what can I build from what I already have, but when will enough arrive from the outside to make me feel whole? The answer never came because the question was wrong. But Seneca saw through this long ago, and today I see through it too. The things I have been searching for outside myself were never out there to begin with. Everything real, everything lasting, everything that cannot be taken from me, it lives inside me, and it always has. I carry what matters within me. There is a story Seneca tells about a man named Stilbo, whose city was burned to the ground. He walked out of the fire and the ruin alone. His home gone, his family lost, the city he knew reduced to ash. Someone asked him what he had lost. He said, "Nothing. All my valuables are with me." He did not mean money hidden in his coat. He meant the qualities of his mind, the integrity of his character, the clarity of his judgment, the values that had been forged over a lifetime of deliberate living. These things went with him through the fire, untouched. Fortune burned the city. Fortune could not touch the man. This is what Seneca means by inner wealth. Not comfort, not safety. A foundation so deep that the surface can burn and nothing essential is lost. He emerged from total destruction with the thing that mattered most completely intact. That is not an accident. That is the result of building the right things in the right places, not in property or status, but in character. I carry what matters within me. This is the insight I return to today and every day. My worth is not in my account balance, my follower count, my title, or the size of the room I am given to speak in. My worth is in the quality of my thinking, the honesty of my actions, and the standards I hold when no one is watching, and there is nothing to gain by holding them. These cannot be updated in an algorithm. They cannot be revoked by a market shift or a platform change or a bad review. They do not disappear when a project fails or a launch underperforms. They are mine completely, and no external force reaches them. This is the ground I stand on, not the numbers, the character. I carry what matters within me. There is a version of life in which I spend every morning checking what the world thinks of me, the metrics, the responses, the signals that tell me whether I am up or down. I know that version. I have lived it. It is exhausting and it is never finished, because the world's verdict changes by the hour, and there is no number large enough to make a person feel permanently secure. Seneca understood this. He wrote that the man who does not consider what he has to be more than enough is unhappy, even if he owns the entire world. The feeling of enough does not come from the outside. It is a decision made from the inside. I carry what matters within me. There is a second thing Seneca teaches in these letters. That philosophy, the serious practice of thinking clearly and living deliberately, is the only real path to freedom. Not the freedom that depends on wealth or power or the goodwill of other people. Those freedoms are fragile. They can be revoked with a single decision made by someone else in a room you were never invited into. The freedom Seneca speaks of is the kind that remains when everything else is stripped away. It is the freedom of a mind that has learned to govern itself, to choose its responses, to refuse panic and refuse despair, to look at difficulty without flinching and decide consciously how to meet it. This is the freedom I am building, not quickly, not perfectly, but daily with intention, one clear decision at a time. I carry what matters within me. I do not need the best conditions to do meaningful work. I do not need to be recognized before I commit fully to what I am building. I do not need the fear to lift before I begin, or the doubt to disappear before I take the next step. Waiting for those things is a trap I refuse to fall into again. The creator who waits for the perfect moment is waiting for something that will never arrive, because the perfect moment is always constructed, never discovered. I have what I need now. I have a mind that can think, a standard I have chosen to hold myself to, and the capacity to begin again every morning, regardless of what yesterday produced. That is the entire foundation. Everything built on top of it is extra. Everything I have been asking the world to give me, I can give myself through the quality of attention I bring to this day and the next. I carry what matters within me. I return now to what cannot be taken, the work I have done on my own thinking, the discipline I have practiced in the hours when it would have been easier to drift, the values I have held when there was no reward for holding them and no one was watching to give credit. These are not visible to anyone else. They do not show up in any metric. They are never captured in a screenshot or a highlight reel, but they are the most real things I own. And they compound quietly over time, the way interest compounds, slowly, then suddenly, and always in favor of the person who did not stop. The world rewards noise and visibility. Character rewards itself in ways that last longer than any trend, any platform, any measure of success that requires outside permission to feel real. I stop asking for that permission today. I stopped waiting for a verdict that was never going to tell me what I actually needed to hear. Nothing outside can define me. Nothing outside can complete me. Nothing outside, in the end, can touch the part of me that has chosen how to live. Seneca walked through the courts of emperors and the threat of death with this knowledge steady inside him. He did not need their approval to know his own value. He did not need their mercy to feel free. I walk through the smaller difficulties of this life with the same knowledge, held the same way, quietly, firmly, without performance. What I need is already here. What I am building is already inside me. It only asks to be honored with my full attention, one day at a time. I carry what matters within me. I carry what matters within me. I carry what matters within me.